Hey guys, it's the Addi Queen, and in this video I am responding to a comment that I recently got on my 22 pin pumpkin knitting tutorial. This is the comment that I received. To be honest, I don't understand the inverting the end like a reversible beanie. You didn't really explain or show what happens to that end, and it looks more like a sock until you cinch the two ends together. Kind of seems unnecessary. I'd love an explanation as to why you do this. So I have decided that instead of going on YouTube and trying to type something out, that I would make a video in response to this comment. In this video, I'm going to be finishing a pumpkin that I knit on the 22 pin and kind of explaining why I do what I do. If you like what I do, that's great. I hope my tutorials help you. You can follow them. If not, feel free to move right on along, and I hope you find something that does work for you. So in order to address this comment and to try to explain everything very thoroughly, I've decided I'm going to start this video after the loom is out of the picture. We've already done our knitting on the knitting machine. We are just finishing the pumpkin. So this is 60 rows on the 22 pin machine. This is my cast on side where I always leave a longer tail because we're going to use that to finish the pumpkin. Okay, this is our cast off, and I always cinch it up like a hat. You don't need the longest tail, but I use a decent one because I always cut this tail off and use it to help finish my pumpkin. So I do believe this is what you were talking about. You said you don't understand where I make it like a reversible beanie. And my friend, I am going to show you why. So obviously I just cinched that up, and I do want to tie a knot just to kind of hold things in place better. Now I'm going to take this end here. We're folding it inside of our pumpkin. Okay. It does kind of look like a little reversible beanie, huh? Perfect. Now, I do have 2 yarn needles just because I want to cheat. I don't want to have to take the needle off of one piece of yarn and then put it on the other and switch it back and forth. You know, whatever. So, in doing this, I have made my pumpkin 2 layers thick. Some people don't like their work to be 2 layers thick, but I try my best to anyway sell my pumpkins. And honestly, if I'm going to make something that I know I am selling to somebody or giving away as a gift, I want to make it as high quality as I can. And I feel like having 2 layers thick just helps things look better, it holds things in place better, and it's just my preference. So right now I am taking our extra piece of yarn and I ran it in between these 2 layers because we're going to put our polyfill inside, and then we're going to use this to cinch it shut so none of it escapes. Now I cinched up the inside piece here, you will see, and I have it even with this cinch on the outside. That way we can make sure our lining goes all the way down on the inside and things will be nice and even. So I am going to go ahead and grab some polyfill. So as we stuff our pumpkin, I am pulling these 2 threads to cinch it up. And I'm just going to tie them as tight as I can. It's not going to be perfect. You will still see some polyfill, but it's okay. Now, as you can see here, I'm seeing some green coloration here. You see colors that are on the inside of the pumpkin too. So I'm seeing a lot of green through this section, which is fine. That is the pattern of our yarn. But that's also part of the reason I make it 2 layers thick, because I would rather see the color of the yarn than polyfill. So now I'm taking this, which is attached to the pumpkin here, and we're going to go to the bottom, and you're going to go right here between a row of stitches, and you want to stay in the same row all the way through. You're going to take your yarn needle and poke down through the center, and we're going to flip it over, and our goal is to come out through the center down here as well. Now we're going to keep doing the same thing. It's going up through this, between the stitches, down through the center, came out through the center down here as well. Make it tight. I usually do 5 little sections on my pumpkin. I don't know why, that's just the number I have found that I like. So that's what I usually stick to. Again, we're going through here, down the center, pull it tight, okay, so now we're at the bottom. I finished my last section. I'm going to go through my stitching right here, and I'm just tying a knot to hold my cinches in place. Because we want a nice tight pumpkin, we want those lines we made dividing the sections to really show the shape. So now I have these little faux leather tags that I made. I bought the leather off of Amazon, but I did make the tags out of the leather. So I'm just going to put these 2 ends on our yarn needle here. Now I'm going to go through both ends on the tag, and then we're going to go down through the center. Make sure your tag's where you like it. And we're just going to tie these together to hold it in place. It doesn't have to be a tight knot, but still a knot nonetheless. There we are. And we have finished our pumpkin. Now I will grab a pumpkin I made a couple videos ago. This is my cotton candy pumpkin, and this is a very good example of why I make my pumpkins 2 layers thick. I was experimenting, trying to learn, so my row counts were a little off with this one. And as you can see, in between the orange here, we've got yellow. Up here, you see a lot of orange through this white. So I make my pumpkins 2 layers thick, really to hide what's on the inside. Yes, we're seeing yellow down here, we're seeing orange up here. That means we're not seeing the polyfill. And again, I always cinch the inside. That way I can just make sure everything's centered, everything's together where it should be. It makes it easier for me when I'm working on the pumpkins. I think that it looks nicer when they're complete, but to each their own. I hope that in this video I addressed your concerns and maybe answered your questions. So thank you for commenting, and happy crafting, everyone.